What is up, you guys? It's your boy Brendan, and I'm back with another video. Just an update, man. Out here, still in Baltimore. Property's doing very well. Haven't had any issues with my tenant. Tenant is lovely. I'm very grateful for the tenant that I got, and I'm grateful for my patience that I've learned to have, especially now that I'm, in other markets. That definitely plays a big part in being a real estate investor for me personally. Like, not being like, I guess, too worried about when I was going to get a tenant and stuff like that, and then just putting anybody in that space and then not being a good fit. But she's a great fit, you know what I'm saying, or my tenant's a great fit. So, yeah, that's what's going on out here in the city of Baltimore. But in LA, it's a little bit less eventful. I feel like I'm getting strangled. They're trying to strangle people out of Airbnb back in LA. Like, it's taking people like 3-4 months to get their home sharing permits renewed, which I'm on my 3rd month or 4th month right now, actually. I think I put my renewal back in May and still haven't got a renewal yet, which is a simple process, especially if they can see how long you've been a host. It would be like, I would think it would be like a thing where it's like, okay, boom, you see this renewal permit request coming through. This person's been a host for, 7 years, 6 years, 4 years, even 3 years even. Boom, no complaints, super host, the whole night. Well, I don't know if you're a super host, but no complaints on your record, no nothing on your record. Boom, stamp it. Hey, have a nice day. Hosting another 120 days, I believe it is, that you get when you do short-term, the short-term, what is it? The short-term, stupid, the permit. Because then you can do an extended permit, which is crazy as hell too, because LA City wants to charge you $1,000 to do an extended permit. And that's just like money grab. Like, you go from the short-term permit being like $0 to, oh yeah, you want to extend it and be able to host a little bit more in a year. We're gonna charge you $1,000. Like, I ain't never heard no tax like that, bro. Like, it's crazy. But hey, man, sometimes you gotta pay to play, right? And I mean, honestly, if you got a good CPA, you'll be able to write that off anyways. But it just sucks that you got to come out of your pocket to be basically paying a city that doesn't do anything for you, really, when it comes to, like, you being an Airbnb host or you trying to grow a short-term rental business. And now, like I said, I've been in Facebook groups and people are talking about, I feel like my ears is like clogged, like I need to pop my ears or something. I've heard people like in Facebook groups talking about, like, they had to wait 3 months, 4 months to get a reply back, from the home sharing permit committee, whatever, department. So, it sucks a little bit, but I mean, it's a part of the real estate game. It's a part of the business game just in general. Sometimes you're gonna be up, sometimes you're gonna be down. But that's why I love the fact that I am very committed to being diverse in my portfolio. Like, I even want Section 8 at some point, honestly, depending on like some units right now, I'm passing by actually Section 8, but they're all new. It's an all new building, so it just depends on how you do your Section 8 or where you do your Section 8, what type of tenants you get, because not all Section 8 tenants are bad, which is usually the like the stigma with Section 8 and HUD and all that stuff. But honestly, shit, from seeing all the people, even on Airbnbs, like, that leave reviews, that have been like leaving like different like messages in Airbnb groups and stuff like that, like their bad experiences, people trashing their house and stuff like that. So, honestly, if you're gonna have a bad experience, you're gonna have a bad experience. It don't matter what market it's in. But yeah, that's pretty much where I've been at, pretty much what I've been doing, or dealing with since I've been out here. It's been 8 months so far. It's crazy, dog. Like, it feels like I just got here. Like, January was just last month or a month ago or 2 months ago, and then but now realizing, like, dude, it's been eight months, like almost a full year now. And I ain't gonna lie, I love it out here. I love it on the East Coast. certain things change, certain plans change. Like I definitely didn't. I decided not to go into Turo, even though I have my own vehicle now. But I was like, yeah, I don't know about the Turo game. Like I think I'll focus on something else. That's another thing I was like thinking about, even like the other month. As I'm like working on getting my Airbnb back up and going and stuff like that. I'm like, man, like throughout my life, it's like I've thought like, okay, I only can focus on one thing, and I'm like, nah, man, like I had all these different talents, so why not do them or utilize them all? Like photography, I was good at that. I'm still good at photography. Fitness, I've been doing that since I was 18. I done went from being thin to being bigger, putting a lot of muscle mass on to now where I'm more athletic built. And I done train people, I done help people lose hundreds of pounds. So it's like there's a lot of different things I've been good at, like, woodworking. I made a few different like charcuterie boards and different pieces of furniture, and that's like not even including like remodeling houses and stuff like that. It's just like my personal stuff. Like I ain't gonna lie, I loved when I made, like during the pandemic, when I was making like cutting boards, custom cutting boards for a few people. That felt like, it felt good, but I don't know if I'll do that part. But definitely the fitness, I'm back into it myself, just in general, every day, hitting the gym. This morning I didn't get up and go, only because last night I had a little bit too much fun. So when I woke up, it was just like, yeah, you could take a day off. I've literally been in the gym every day for the last 2 months. Like I haven't missed a day. Even if I go and I just, do like something slight, I've been back in the gym like hard. So, yeah, man, that's just where I'm at right now. And it's like, at the end of the day, the real estate market is kind of like, we're not kind of, if anybody that, knows anything, like the real estate market has definitely slowed up right now. And honestly, I don't look at it like it's a bad thing. Because every, I guess what do you say, like every scenario has its options on how you can, work with it and capitalize on it. So like right now, a lot of the property, or I think the interest rates are still at like 7, or maybe they're like just below 7, like 6.9 or something like that, but they're still at 7 basically. So a lot of people aren't selling properties, or trying to get out of their properties, not unless they're like, losing them and stuff like that, but that don't count. But if you think about it, like nationwide, even if I'm in like the smaller or like the bigger markets, like say if I'm in Los Angeles, New York, I guess any of the bigger city markets, and let's say I got a property that might sell for like 800,000. Even if I go to a smaller market, the interest rates are gonna be, or my monthly payment is the issue for most people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they might be paying, a mortgage of $17,000, maybe even $2,000, where they live at right now, and that's because how long they had the mortgage and when they bought it, blah blah blah, and the interest rate that they got locked into when they bought the property. But if they buy a property now, what the hell? If they buy a property now, the interest rate and their monthly mortgage is going to be way higher. So, it's causing like a pause in the seller's market, which then doesn't allow buyers and investors like me to buy properties, or even be in situations to buy properties, because then the banks have to figure out how they can get their money lended out, or if they even want to lend it out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing too, is like lending products kind of get harder to get right now, because they know that the real estate market is not good right now. Or I'm not saying that it's not good, but it's not moving as fast as it usually does. So honestly, I've been happy with just having a tenant pay, my mortgage, like low key pay my mortgage for me. And I'm in a situation where it's like I've gained some equity on that property already since I've been here. So I'll take that. I got life insurance policy gaining equity. I'll take that. I'll take any little equity I can get, honestly. Or, what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Is that the street I'm supposed to turn on? I still be getting like turned around sometimes when I hit certain streets down here. I'm over in the downtown area trying to go to Canton. I haven't been around here in a while, so I just decided this morning I'll go grab me some breakfast, you know, kind of do a little lap around the city, check out things, see if any properties I kind of have my eye on. If anything around those properties has changed, see if any other investors are in that area, you know what I'm saying? Just check out, not competition, but check out if anybody else is trying to move the needle on certain blocks and things like that, and, you know, turn it up real fast. But yeah, man, I mean, honestly, the move right now, I see, like, man, there's a Linden product that I came across, and it's this cat I met out here. It's a DSC loan. I was thinking a DSCR loan. I was thinking, like, in my head, like, man, what kind of property right now is just sitting on the market probably, and not a lot of people are going after them. And I mean, I just keep on coming back to this office space, like, sheesh. I just keep on coming back to this, these office spaces, like, and I ideally, yes, if you remodel the office space and try to turn it into a apartment complex, you got to do a lot of conversion, because the office spaces don't have plumbing running through the whole building, and, you know, sprinkler systems and all that other stuff, or maybe sprinkler systems, but not plumbing and electrical in certain places, and blah blah blah. So you're turning the rooms into turning the office spaces from office spaces into rooms. But I'm just thinking, like, man, I know for sure there's thousands of properties on the market that are office buildings, dude, that are just sitting there. Like, hell, even in this city, like, you drive around, or when you drive, like, throughout the DMV in general, like, I was in Alexandria, Virginia, and you see nice, like, it's really nice out there. Like, it's definitely multi-million-dollar area, right? But even in between the nice neighborhoods, and you go to, like, the business districts, like, where they have restaurants and all that stuff, like, you still see the same thing. You see restaurants and clothing stores and a lot more, like, in between businesses, but the office buildings still empty as hell, still got for lease signs on them. And I'm not talking about, like, one or two, I'm talking about, like, all of them. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that would be a dope play. I'm not super, like, numbers man, but I can do like the basics. And if I look at an office building that has, like, let's say 7 floors or 6 floors or something like that, and that could be turned into you know, like 100 units and something like that, I mean, it makes sense, but only, I guess, again, if the interest rate is good or not, because that can make or break a deal. I'm guessing. And honestly, oh shit, I'm about to make a little legal. And honestly, I learned that I was listening to one podcast, and I'm just, like, learning a little bit more about, you know, commercial real estate. And they were saying, like, in commercial real estate, a lot of times when the developer that got the property in the beginning, and they did the property in the beginning, they had all these different, their deal was locked in, you know, because commercial real estate is longer terms. So everything that they got locked in for is, like, what they're still paying on it, you know, just like a regular property, right? Just like a regular residential property. But what will happen with a commercial joint is that when they try to sell it, the bank is not going to really get all their money back. So they try to basically slap the old terms onto the new buyer. So it's like, if you want this property, you got to be able to take on what the last person had, as far as, like, their terms, their rates, and all that other type of stuff. Which that can in itself just kill a deal, because it's like, man, sometimes some of these commercial buildings be having crazy ass type of, like, loans and rates and stuff. Like, because it's a lot more when it comes to commercial. So I don't know, man. I just think, again, like, that definitely could be a market, especially when it's like always talks that there's a housing shortage. I don't know if every city has a housing shortage, because even, like, looking at being down here and being close to like Raleigh, North Carolina, it's a lot of people from Maryland and Virginia moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I forgot the other city in North Carolina, but I'm thinking in my mind like, shit, they must not got a housing shortage, because there's a bunch of people moving down there. I'm not gonna say I know specific the numbers, but if I can hear enough conversation, or if I can see enough, like, posts about it on TikTok, or just other social media platforms, I'm like, okay, that's more than just a buzz. That lets me know that people are looking at it like, well, shit, down here the taxes are better, the living conditions are better. That's usually all that people really want. Everything else is like, secondary. But okay, well, am I gonna pay high taxes and it's gonna be a bunch of crime? Like with Atlanta right now, it's like it's kind of funny that Alabama is now popular for what happened in Alabama. But even before that, honestly, the beginning of this year, even last year, me and my business partner, we was looking at Alabama, Montgomery, Birmingham, and I was just like thinking about it. I heard even like, again, before, I think it was the end of last year, I heard a few people talking about Atlanta and being like, man, it's getting too expensive. And for the South, certain things really are expensive for them, especially if they've been seeing, certain like the gas prices, or hell, it was one girl I saw on her TikTok. She didn't. Well, I don't know if she knew it, but most of the rest of the world and markets, people pay. If you're in an apartment complex, you pay for that parking space that you get. Where she was living at in a luxury apartment complex, they didn't pay for parking spaces. I guess you just get it. Like, it just comes with the apartment. And I was just like, damn, bro. Like, how crazy that is, that you've been living in Atlanta in this nice luxury apartment, and you ain't had to pay for parking this whole time you've been living there up until now. So things like that, can make a lot of people be like, well, shit, I ain't got it. I didn't plan on spending this extra money for this new bill. So, now I got to go somewhere where I can get that same type of luxury, for free again. So then that's just the small stuff. I'm not talking about like, like Atlanta has crazy crime right now, like a lot of other places. And it's mainly on the theft, I think. Like, people breaking into cars in Atlanta a lot. I don't know what it is about car breaking into, like, especially with new cars. Like, it ain't like people carry a lot of shit in their cars no more. So I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know. I don't even carry cash no more. So I mean, somebody tried to rob me, dude. You got to figure it out, bro. But yeah, I mean, that's also another big thing in Atlanta. So I was like looking at the markets, and I'm like, well, damn, where will people really move if they left Atlanta? Because even if they go to the suburbs, and people are talking about like, oh man, even the suburbs of Atlanta, like the cities right outside of Atlanta City, are like, not where it's at, because again, those properties are all brand new. And again, it's like, okay, well, if I'm paying in the city of Atlanta, if I'm paying, let's say rent of like maybe $1,500, $1,400, which some people are, which is crazy, because like in most of the cities, you're not getting no space for no $1,400, $1,500. That's nice. Or let's say your mortgage in Atlanta is like that same amount, or maybe you even at 1,900. You're gonna try to find some place that's like lower than that. So I was looking at Alabama, like, damn, it's not too far away. If somebody, it's like being in the DMV. Like, if somebody wanted to go from like Montgomery, or Birmingham, whichever one is closer, but they kind of like right next to each other. If somebody wanted to still work in Atlanta, let's say they had to go to the office like maybe twice out of the week or whatever, it ain't that far to drive from Birmingham or Montgomery, whichever one is closer, to Atlanta. So, again, like I said, I started looking at the properties out there, and I'm like, damn, okay, it's starting to make sense. And I ain't gonna lie, not for nothing, when I was going on Google Maps, Montgomery don't look bad when you're going through Google Maps, when you're just going through the city, like, certain parts of the city. Like, of course, certain parts are bad, but for the most part, it looked like a nice city. So, again, I mean, I ain't gonna say there's great migrations happening, because again, a lot of people can't even afford to migrate, because it don't make sense to leave where you are just to go to somewhere else that's gonna be the same, the same price point, or it might even be more. Not unless people are moving out of the country. That's another option too. I don't see a lot of people talking about they moving out of the country though, because it's just, I don't know. I'm ready for the aliens to come. me and my friends were talking about that last night. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world right now, and I'm like, all this stuff is like human like anger and basic basic ass human emotions. I'm like, let's see something more exciting than this. Like, I want the aliens to come down like Independence Day, and then we have some real shit to fight over. You know, not all this like stupid ass human shit where it's like, oh, we want to have control. Oh, we want to have control. Like, nobody's ever gonna have full control of nothing, bro. Like, and at the end of the day, we all gonna die. So it's like, what the fuck is it really over for? But anywho, that's my hippie yoga vibes. But yeah, man. Honestly, like I said, that's what I've been doing so far since I've been out here. Is just, you know, maneuvering and making sure that I make the best moves, and I don't make any moves out of you know, flight. Like they say, like in fight or flight. You know, when you get in certain situations. They always talk about that when you look at like Animal Planet. Like, you know, what do you do when you get into a stressful situation? Do you fight or do you flight? And so far, I've been out here fighting. You know, fighting to make a move, fighting to expand myself into becoming a full-on developer. You know, and going it and sheesh. That's one thing I hear too, boy. People be angry in traffic. I'll be out here with my Cali driving. He was honking at somebody in front of me though. This person from Florida. Look at that. Hey, if anybody is from Florida, I know I don't be looking at the comments on my YouTube a lot, but put a comment in Florida. I want to know what's going on in Florida. Like, because there's so many mixed reviews about what's really going on in Florida. Like, so there's a report going around that literally whole insurance companies are just getting up and leaving Florida. Like, yeah, we don't insure houses no more in Florida at all. And I don't know if that shit don't even sound legal to me, that somebody could be paying an insurance company, you know, to insure their house, and then an insurance company can just go, yeah, you know what, we can terminate your insurance policy by just basically because of the I think it was because of like what DeSantis, the governor or the mayor, whatever he is, whatever he's doing. And I guess a lot of the insurance companies are leaning the opposite way on the political scale. So they're like, you know, F it, we out of here. So they're just dropping people's homeowners insurance policies. Which again, that shit just sounds like illegal as hell. Like, that's like, I don't know if that's true or not. I gotta do a little bit more research. But then also too, I've heard a few people like they're still going to Florida. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like black people, anybody, like I've heard people like, yeah, man, I'm gonna move to Florida, like Orlando, because Orlando is definitely vacation, touristy, like, or like we call retirement vibes too. So I don't know, man, it's kind of weird. Like, you hear people saying that a bunch of people are leaving because of what DeSantis is doing, and you know how it's like he's discriminating against black people, discriminating against Latinos, the workers. Like, there's a bunch of workers that I think that just got up and walked out. I think in the trucking industry or the farming industry, one of the two. So I mean, I don't know. I think that it's like all planned. Well, not think, but I know it's all planned and it's all done for a reason. And not just acting erratic and just doing crazy shit to get people riled up for no reason. They always use these shifts. Honestly, it seems like the same play, just in different forms always, man. Like, you know, you get some erratic, you know, Republican white dude to put him out there in the front, and then he starts making these real racial things, statements, and making these racial movements, and people get all emotional and be like, oh man, this guy's racist, and they start moving away from certain places, or they start wanting to I guess not be in certain places anymore. And then honestly, every time it always happens like that with the racial shit, you always see a few years later that place becomes popping again. Like, what it don't look like what it used to look like, as far as like the skin color of the people that stay there. And then it'd be like the opposite with making, or like some cities, like let's say like LA, for instance. Like, if you go to South LA right now, right, like there's no properties that are reselling that I've seen on the market that are selling less than for $1 million. You know, or actually there's one I know for sure in my neighborhood that actually is selling for less than $1 million, but it's a old, like, they did a shitty job on it, or they did a bad job on the remodel. And I don't, well, I guess I'm doing it right now, so that's a hypocritical statement, but Anywho, it's a remodel on like I think the house is less than 800 square feet. Like it's really tiny. It's like maybe 900. But that house is selling, I believe they put it back on the market after they remodeled it for, I think like 600,000 or 700,000. And again, that's because people aren't buying right now because of the interest rates. Like a lot of people are scared of the interest rate. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't buy at this interest rate for a property that small, because even the backyard is small. Like if you don't really got a backyard in that property either. So anywho, needless to say, I can remember, and I tell people all the time out here when I'm going to meetups and stuff like that, like I remember 10 years ago, and not even really 10 years ago, even less than that, like telling people like, man, you know, this ain't the hood, this ain't the ghetto. Like if you look anywhere around the world, like it happens always the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at where Crenshaw and Slauson is, or if you just look at anywhere along the Crenshaw Boulevard, you know, Boulevard, like from Crenshaw and let's see where the black community really stops. Like from Crenshaw and let's just go up to Pico. Forget it. Let's just go to Pico, because Pico still is kind of like black neighborhood. Mid-city, it's still like hella black over there. You even still got some gangs trying to hold on over there. Like actually, whatchamacallit, Blueface's gang is over in that area, you know. But we all know like gangs aren't the larger percentage of people in neighborhoods, which is crazy as hell that most people like only focus on that part. But anywho, if you look at any neighborhood, what is it, west or east of Crenshaw, going all the way from Pico all the way up to, I want to say, we'll go up to Hawthorne, so we'll go up to like the 105 freeway. That's a long stretch, and that's mostly predominantly black neighborhoods, you know, and Latino a little bit in there. But if you look at that stretch, bro, for years, people always would downgrade the neighborhood. I used to be thinking like, man, ain't no way this neighborhood ain't worth value if from any point from where I just told you, we can be to any beach in a matter of 20 minutes in LA City. Like if you're on Crenshaw and Pico, you can go down and hop on you can go down Washington or go down Pico, and you can hop on the 10 freeway and be at Santa Monica Venice Beach in a matter of 20 minutes. If you're on Crenshaw and let's say Florence, you can wrap around, go over to the 90 and be in Marina Del Rey, Playa Del Rey in a matter of 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're up on Crenshaw and let's say Imperial, you can hop right there, boom, on the what is that, the 105, that's the 105, I think. And you can be right there at what is it, not Dockweiler, you can be right there at, or actually you can be at Dockweiler, you can be at Dockweiler or El Segundo in a matter of 25 minutes. So it's like, dude, you got to just like geographically look at where your neighborhood is and just realize, like, again, here in Baltimore, like where I'm at right now in Canton, people that lived here before, that lived here, or they were born here or whatever, I kind of like talked to a few people and they were like, yeah, Canton used to be like all like just like industrial, kind of like forgotten neighborhood land, like low-key kind of like how downtown LA was. Like, you know, it's bigger buildings, old industrial buildings, and then, you know, when those things left, you know, it kind of like just, they forgot the area. Now when you come over here, people jogging, people got kids, people walking around with coffee. Hell, the spot I'm about to go to Chick-fil-A, but that whole shopping center I'm about to go to is 2 of them on both sides. They got the Harrison Teeter's, like a big, nice, expensive grocery store out here. They got the it's just a nice area in general. Let me just put it like that. But again, it's geographically, it's right next to the water. Like if I drove down this street to my right, I literally would drive right into the water. And so it's like, who wouldn't want to live in a high rise? And I'll show you guys a little bit of it. Like, who wouldn't want to live in a high rise and be looking down and looking at water instead of looking at land? Like over there, that's all new over there. All those are new. And then, you know, even on this side, they don't have no apartments on this side, but that's all new as well. But Again, man, I don't know. I don't think you got to have a developer's eye to really see that. I think that's just some common sense shit. Like, you know, if you know where you live at geographically, and if it's close to certain things, or if it makes if where you live at is easy to get around to the majority of other space, the other places in the city, you know, that are like pivotal places, like you got value, you know. And again, I just keep on thinking like, man, okay, well, I'm here in Baltimore. I already got my foothold in this city. You know, DC still got some action. I ain't gonna lie. I just came across a property the other day. I didn't go for it, but DC got some action. Still, it's not all like super expensive just yet. Virginia got some action. But hold on one second, guys. I'm about to order, and then I'll get right back with you guys. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing? Brendan.
Brendan, how may I serve you today?
It's not breakfast no more, huh?
No, sir. You are 7 minutes late.
Damn.
I'm deep like that.
Can I do a grilled chicken sandwich meal?
You the number 5, right? With just the lettuce and tomato?
Yeah.
Medium or large meal?
Medium is fine.
Your beverage?
Lemonade.
Sauce?
What'd you say?
Sauce?
Oh, can I do what's the is it Polynesian? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fabio?
Yeah.
Girl sandwich meal, medium with lemonade, 2 Polly. They told us call 9. Wait, do I sound like I got like an accent or something?
When you said sauce at first, I was like, what did she say? That did sound like an accent.
A lot of people have been asking me that, especially today. Everyone, when I say sauce, like sausages. I'm like, no, sauce.
Are you from Baltimore?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania.
Y'all probably got an accent. Y'all probably don't know about it.
The most accent they'll have is the New York one, because New York is so close to PA, and everyone from New York, we up in PA.
I was about to say, what part of PA are you from, though?
Harrisburg, the capital. I'm not from.
Oh, shit, I've been up there. I just moved out here from LA, so.
Oh, why? I mean, no, it's good you left for California.
Everywhere has a issue, but out here it's for real estate basically. So
yeah, but I wouldn't. You
say hey, it's my YouTube, yeah.
YouTube, yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, California sucks. I mean, that with my full heart.
Wait, what? Hey, you're supposed to big up the city, damn. Well, you don't hold stuff in. That's good.
Yeah, no, look. Each place has the pros and cons. I don't see no pros about Cali.
What you mean? The weather, the food,
the forest fires. Yeah.
You said forest. That's not the city.
Okay.
And y'all all on the East Coast. Y'all say Cali. You do realize most of the time when you're talking about California, you're talking about LA only.
True.
People go, oh yeah, I'm going to Cali, and I'm like, where are you going? LA. That's not the whole state.
I know, but then there's just so much. It's a bias because that's how you see. I've been seeing a lot on what's it called, Instagram about Skid Row and stuff like that.
Well, that's hey, I've been to Harrisburg, and y'all whole city look like Skid Row, except for by the Capitol.
No. You're right. Then that's the thing. Like,
that's the crazy part about it. It's like right when you go by the Capitol building, it's like clean as shit, and you go around the other parts of the city, it's like, wait, what happened here?
Yo, that's the thing. I tell people, I was like, I come to this state and they're like, you haven't ate a Chick-fil-A? I'm like, there's one Chick-fil-A that came in 2015. I didn't know Chick-fil-A's been around for 30, 50 years. Like, that's brand new to me. But I digress. You have an amazing day.
All right, you too, yo.
Enjoy yourself. Bye.
Random conversations with strangers. That's funny. But yeah, man. So real estate strategies right now, man. It's funny too, because also too, like looking at like all these gurus, like all the big gurus that were like, you know, teaching people how to do Airbnb and charging people crazy amounts of money to, you know, invest with them in Airbnbs and stuff like that. Like I've seen definitely a big halt on that too. Like if you go on YouTube right now, damn. Like recognize my face no more. When you go on YouTube right now, you hardly see anybody putting up videos. I'm just texting my homegirl real fast right now. I want to go kayaking soon. I'm trying to find me a kayaking partner, but for some reason, all the black people I know out here can't swim, so they be scared of the water. People, teach your kids how to swim when they're young. Like, I learned how to swim, I believe, when I was a baby. Like, I never can remember a moment in my life when I didn't know how to swim. Swimming is pivotal. What if a big wave come, you know what I'm saying, and we all gotta like swim for our lives? Like, what, you just gonna like drown? Like, or what if you gotta go to a day party and the day party say there's one rule, you gotta get in the pool and you can't just sit there in the shallow end? What you gonna do? You gotta learn how to swim. How you doing?
You got Brandon. You go, Mr. Brandon.
It's Brennan, but it's okay. Just,
I'm gonna need a bag of salt anyway.
I love how people just hear your name however they want to hear it.
I know.
That girl did not hear me say Brandon. But yeah, teach your kids how to swim, people. Sheesh. All the fun things have to do with swimming. I ain't gonna never lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Never gonna lie to you. Some of my best moments were in water.
Have a nice one.
Appreciate you too. You're like the most monotone Chick-fil-A person I've ever seen so far. But yeah, every time I've had a good time in life, it was some water involved in some sort of capacity. But I'm gonna grab on this food real fast and I'm gonna catch you guys in a second. What is up, good people? So I am back looking like a ragamuffin. If you know anybody from the Caribbean, the old school Caribbean, you know what that means. But anywho, I had to take me a nap because I was feeling beat. Definitely maybe drank a little bit too much yesterday. And I don't even like drink hard alcohol. But that was all of us at the party, so I was just sipping, you know. But me being a lightweight, even sipping is like hardcore for me, so. But anywho, been doing like some research on real estate in between me like waking up and like falling back asleep and stuff like that. So today ain't really been like crazy. Just about to go grab me some food real fast because I ran out of meal prep. What am I about to do real fast? Shit, I think that's it. Just going to Chipotle. Oh shit. Well, I don't know if I'll go to Chipotle. I was thinking about it. There's another, if you guys ever come to the city of Baltimore, there's a, you know, you're looking like some good Mexican food. I can honestly say the closest thing to like traditional Mexican food that I've had, or anything close to like Mexican food that you can get in LA, is a restaurant called Clavel. It's low-key like in the middle of the city. But yeah, that's, you know, like more like restaurant vibes. I'm just looking for something fast, real quick before I go like grocery shopping tomorrow, or just going to go grab a few things tomorrow, basically, to meal prep again. Because honestly, I don't like cooking a lot, and I hate having to like really think about what I want to eat. Like I just want to sometimes just eat something real fast and get it over with. So, but now, man, honestly, it feels good to be vlogging again. I haven't done this in a while. I was looking at like the live streaming. It's just so much, man. It's too much going on in the world right now. Sometimes you get caught up in looking at certain other things and feel like, oh shit, I need to be doing that. But one thing for certain with this real estate is there's definitely there's definitely, you know, shifts happening. Dude, I'll be getting a bunch of other people mail still to this property. But there's definitely shifts happening right now, you know, that are making it like, I feel like it's exciting low key, because it's like who's gonna figure out, you know, which direction is the best direction. I guess just for a large portion of the market. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's usually what happens. Like, for as much people as, like, you know, gurus and all that stuff like that, like, if a bunch of people start seeing that something is working, you know, for a few developers or a few investors, then usually most people, or a lot of people, follow suit and go, oh, well, I'm about to just do what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even like recreate the wheel. Just shit, you utilize it and hop on it. Clean off my camera real fast. Yeah, like a lot of people just, you know, I mean, and it makes sense, especially if you ain't gotta like put all the if you can watch and see what somebody's doing, you can catch on to it fast. You know what I'm saying? So you riding their wave. Honestly, that's what everything is. Like, I be thinking about that, like with like marketing strategies of big companies, and it's like big companies never make anything. Like, when you look at all of the commercials, or looking at what's driving the culture of anything, it's usually a big marketing company goes, okay, we're gonna take a smaller person that, you know, is inventive and they're hungry and all this other stuff, and we're gonna pay to make it global or whatever, because that person ain't got the money to do it, and then they just do that. So it's the same thing with, like, you know, even like real estate. Like, I honestly, one of my strategies when I look at a different place is I look for Whole Foods, and then I go up to like 6 miles away from that Whole Foods in each direction, and look at what the neighborhoods look like 6 miles in each direction. And then that gives me an idea, like, oh, okay, well, you know, this neighborhood, you know, that's 6 miles, 7 miles away, maybe even sometimes like 8 miles away, to get farther away from it, maybe even 10. It gives me an idea of what's going on in that city, in that area, to know, like, is the development happening, you know, how I need it to be happening. Another thing too, of course, looking at hospitals, seeing what kind of hospitals are out in, you know, or in the city or in a certain area. Hell, being in Baltimore taught me that, honestly, even looking for schools, like looking for anything that has like prep school, like anywhere. And again, I just go from that area and I go out to see where the development areas are, because those areas are already going to be built up. Oh shit, somebody's selling the property. Yeah, those areas are already going to be built up. So it's like, you really ain't got to, like Warren Buffett said, like, a lot of this stuff shouldn't be hard. Like, you should be able to, like, make a deal on the back of a napkin. You know, you hear a lot of people quote that from him. Like, if it's not a napkin deal, then it ain't a good deal, you know, kind of joint. But, you know, hey, you got to take everything with a grain of salt. But honestly, I'm gonna end this video soon, because I know this one today is just on. It was just me talking, just getting back into the groove of things. Like I said, I haven't vlogged in a while, but it feels good. And I'm trying. I want to simplify my process too. Like, I think I'm start using Final Cut. I'm running Final Cut, whatever the thing is on Apple. I'm gonna start using it on my phone, because I even had like outros and all that stuff. Like, I don't even want to do all that no more. I just want to make it simple, like kind of like how live streaming is. Like, people get on, they get off, they get on, they get off. I just want to like do the same thing with my vlogging. So yeah, man. I guess the overall of this video was just an update. Like I said, I got my property cracking. It's doing good. Doing a little bit of fighting for the property in LA, and, you know, expanding. I mean, getting that back going, and working on grabbing another property. You know, that's just always the goal: getting the next property, or making the next property the bigger property. You know, going bigger and bigger. So if I did, you know, duplex this time, I'm gonna go, you know, 6 units, 7 units the next time, even higher if I can. You know, like. It was pretty, it seemed like it was going to be a pretty dope opportunity, but I've reached out to him a few times now. I ain't got no reply back, which is cool. But I got connected, or I guess introduced to this developer out here, but he's multiple places or whatever, like New York, Boston. I don't know how many other places he's probably developing in, but supposedly when I talked to him, he said he had this development kind of like, let me say development fund, but yeah, it's a development fund. But he was doing it like, which it doesn't kind of make sense to me because I ain't never met no developer that's doing business that big, that's just kind of like doing it on the strength of like, I don't know. That's not my concern. But anywho, it was supposed to be like, you know, I spoke to him. I thought everything went cool with first call. And then, you know, I was telling him, like, for me, I would like to have everything, you know, documented and put down on paper and, you know, just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Like, I want that. Like, I want to do business, like, legitimate. Like, I don't want nothing like, oh, yeah, just done off a handshake and a promise. Like, hell no. Nah. That's not how we do business, because that's how people get in their emotions, and then they get to like start telling people that, oh well, I was a good person to, like, nah, we're not worried about being no good person. We're gonna be good people because we're setting the goals and we're setting the terms in the beginning, and everybody can follow those terms. That's how we're gonna be good people, by following those terms like that, you know. So he said that he had got burned a few times from lending people money for projects, but they weren't oh shit, where's Chipotle? But they weren't giving the money back. I mean, or they weren't utilizing the money for what they were supposed to be utilizing it for. And I was just like, duh. Like, in real estate, it's like anything else. It's like, you know, it's a hustle. So people gonna try to hustle you. Like, he told me one person, he was giving the person the money for electrical, and the person was talking about they were going to use their uncle for the electrical, and then they weren't using the money for the electrical. They were using it for something else, so they were just pocketing the money. I'm just like, man, that sounds crazy as hell. That developer doing, I would say, multi-million-dollar deals. Like, he has one where it's like he just supposedly purchased a whole harbor area in, I forgot what city it is, but he purchased a whole harbor area to redevelop it. So I couldn't believe that he would like do stuff like that, and I was just like, damn, you know, that kind of sucks. Because then again, when somebody like me comes around, and even how I'm talking, like, it sounds like still suspicious, or he's still suspicious of anybody now, which, you know, again, it sucks because it's like, I look at it, for me, I'm like, well, you kind of did it to yourself, you know what I'm saying? Whereas he's looking at it like, you know, I'm trying to be a good person, and predominantly he was helping Black and Latino developers, I believe, or people of color, whatever you want to call it. But honestly, that's not going to stop anything. We're still driving. Damn, this thing is big. Oh my goodness. We're still driving. Still looking to get commercial properties. I do have another lending product that I might be able to make work in my favor. Honestly. Oh shit! Gotta get my new tattoo out of the sun. That might be able to make work in my favor, but we'll see. Because even with that one, it's like somebody else introduced me to it, and I realized that a lot of people be slow motion with business, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'll be like, let's get on it. Ain't no time to be waiting. Like, people be like, reply back to your email 5 days later. It's like, bro, 5 days later, the whole thing could be done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or it cannot be on the table no more. Like, I don't know. And it's not just the East Coast thing, too. Like, first I thought about it, it's like, man, maybe it's like East Coast thing. And people are like a lot more slower. But then I was like, thinking like LA, same thing. People be slow motion. But anywho, I'm about to go grab me I didn't go to Chipotle. It's crazy because it's a Chipotle right here, and then it's a Cordobo right here. I think I like Cordobo, like the quality of their food better. I mean, it's still fast food, but in my head, I feel like it's better. But one thing I definitely know is I won't ever go to Five Guys again. Yo, I don't know if it's just out here or whatever, but the other day I literally paid $25 for a single burger meal at Five Guys. Like, and you know, Five Guys is like a la carte, so you pick everything single. So like you can buy the burger, and then that's just the burger. Then you gotta put the fries with it. And I got a shake. And I ain't look at the prices, honestly, because I've been a Five Guys before, and I do know it's like usually is a little bit more expensive than all the other places. Like, I miss In-N-Out, I ain't gonna lie to you. But when he said $25, I was just like, God damn, like what did I order? Like I only ordered for myself. Like I didn't order for 2 people. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody, get in the comments and let me know if Five Guys is expensive back in the West Coast, because I don't remember it being this expensive even in the beginning of the year, end of last year, I don't know. But until next time, guys, you already know what it is. It's your boy Brennan. I am still on my grind, always and forever. And like I say all the time, like, hit me up on Instagram. It's literally my name, Brennan Scott, is my Instagram page. From there you can find my business ones or whatever. I'm not really on TikTok and all that stuff, but yeah, Instagram page, just hit me up if you're interested in working together. If you got deals, honestly, wholesale deals, if you have commercial mixed use deals, lending products, any of those things, anything related to real estate, just hit me up and let's get some stuff done, man. Until next time, I'm out, y'all.